Welcome back to another episode of Stories from the Dirt. Today I have my co-host Liz. Hi, Liz.
Hello.
And our guest Angela from Double A Rally Team. Angela is a rookie coming into the Rebel Rally this year. And how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. Tell us a few interesting facts about yourself.
Oh, interesting facts. I am a Jeep enthusiast. I've owned and been off-roading somewhat professionally, if you will, for about 5 years now. And then my other thing that I do is I am a professional career bartender, and I work at a very high-end restaurant here in Seattle, where I'm from.
Oh, fun. Nice. You're a professional driver?
Yeah, it's like professional in that like I work for companies and go out and do stuff with like leading trails or doing media, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
That sounds really cool. Okay, so how did you get into that? That doesn't sound like something that's like every day for everyone. So,
How did I don't know, honestly. I think I started doing it just out of because I was bored, honestly. During the pandemic, I got super bored and I have a little kid. So he and I started going out in what was my stock Jeep at that time. And I realized that it's something I'm actually kind of good at. And I had a lot of fun. And we started, since I work in restaurants, we were closed for about a year and a half. So I had all this time. And he and I went out multiple times a week, just constantly doing stuff and meeting people and making friends. And so I started working with like local companies here, just helping them with their media or leading trail runs, stuff like that. And there's not a lot of women in the industry, so I think it was a little different. A new face, a different person, and I've always been in customer service, so I think I brought that to the table as well. So that's kind of how my career, if you will, started.
that's so awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that seems pretty interesting. And then, so you are a rookie coming in this year. Are you the driver or the navigator?
I am the driver.
Okay.
I'm super interested in all of the navigation stuff, but I find it really intimidating, but fascinating also. So I'm excited to learn it, but I am not at the level to be able to do it by myself yet. So
That was
Yeah.
my feeling last year. I was a rookie last year and I was our driver and like the navigation, I was like, um, I was interested in it and I love looking at maps and stuff, but there was so much of it that was like over my head. Like I felt so overwhelmed last year.
I like understand it's in like a cerebral kind of way. Like I understand it, but
Yeah.
watching someone like my teammate Adriana, she is like doing navigation stuff she does for a living. She works for the water department in California and mapping and stuff. That's what she does. Um, so watching her operate is so amazing to me. I can't believe that people can do this. It's amazing. So I want to do that. I think that's really cool.
So you're gonna learn how to navigate. Can you plot now, or like what is your
Yeah,
level of navigation currently?
I think I can plot. I think I could probably plot and make a lot of mistakes. But I understand it and I can see when I make mistakes too. So I'm
Nice.
not I think one of the things I could work on is just knowing terminology and knowing just facts and stuff. I have a lot to learn, but I understand it kind of like in a small scale.
Okay. And when did you learn about the rally? How did you learn about the rally?
On social media, I followed it maybe for a couple of years, and I watched it live for the past few years. And then last year, I was just obsessed with it. I watched everything live, and during that, every time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, I could do this."
Yeah.
So, um, at the end of the rally, I started to get really serious about like, okay, this is something I want to do.
And then how did you and Adriana hook up together to be teammates?
Well, like I just said, I watched the rally live last year, and I my dog's gonna bark. So I was watching the rally, and at the end of it on social media, I think it was on Instagram, I like posted something just randomly like, "How do I do this? I want to do this." And I got a whole bunch of responses, just past rebels or people that also wanted to do it. And one of the past rebels was Adriana, who was just chatting with me about her experience. And then we just became friends.
Mm,
Um, and quite a few months went by until she realized that she was in need of a teammate. And I was like, pick me. But yeah, I basically begged. I was like, I really wanted to do it. And her and I get along super well. So
yeah,
it felt really easy and natural, and we have really similar personalities, and so it was just kind of a match made in heaven.
nice. Do you guys live close?
Oh no, she
I
lives in
didn't.
LA and I live in Seattle, so
Okay, yeah, I thought so. So what does your training plan look like? How do you get together and train? Or do you?
it's challenging. We talk almost every single day. And then I flew down there in April, and then she and I spent nearly a week in Borrego Springs. She designed some courses, and uh, we she basically taught me all the navigation stuff, and then we spent a few days hunting checkpoints together, and um, so that was our main training session, if you will. And
Mhm.
we wanted to do more and do some of the Rebel U's, but honestly, fundraising has been such a bear that we just haven't been able to. So, but
Yeah.
I have another trip planned in a few weeks out at Coos Bay, the dunes there. And Megan, that you've had on, is going to join me. So she and
Okay.
I are going to we're just going to focus on driving
Mhm.
mostly because I need to shake down the Jeep with the sand. I just want to get some more experience in the sand before hitting the desert in competition.
Yeah.
So are you
Have you
taking your Jeep for the rally?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, you said it was stock. Is it no longer stock?
No, no. It's very far from stock now.
Okay. So let's hear about it. What's your build?
Um, well, it's been quite a few different stages of build. Previous to the rally, I did more rock crawling stuff with my Jeep. So I've changed it a little bit for the rally and went down in size for tire. So I'm running the Pirelli Scorpion Plus, and they're
Mhm.
basically a 35. They're a little bit smaller. But yeah, it's a much less aggressive tire, but also much lighter. So it's going to be way better in the sand. Um, I went full, well, it's not full, it's a big bore box PSC steering system. So it's a like more heavy duty steering system that
Yeah.
also has a cooler. So that'll help a lot with keeping the Jeep cool.
Mhm.
I have anti rock front and rear. Basically, the entire suspension is aftermarket, but it's within specs, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, and then I'm taking out the back seat because it's only a two door, which kind of sucks. But um, I'm taking out the back seat and we're putting in a little fridge, so that'll be nice. I plan on carrying some Otter Pops.
Nice.
Otter Pops. What's
Yeah.
an Otter Pop? Is that like an ice cream?
Do you not know what Otter Pops are?
No, apparently I don't.
They are like a childhood treat of like those long skinny things and it's almost like a Ziploc bag that's like icy.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I just called those Freezy Pops.
That's what they are. Yeah.
Okay,
Otter
yeah.
Pop's like the brand name. So
Okay. Okay. I mean, I haven't had one in a while, but yes, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Like,
that takes me back to like childhood. That was like the summer treat where it's like you're hot and it's like you just grab one of those otter pops. I was always like, can we have more of them? I want one of every color.
Yeah, right? Or
that's
the, little hugs. Did you guys do the little hugs? The
oh, I
drink?
know. I know what you're talking
No.
about. Yeah.
The little hug is basically a melted otter pop.
It's so bad for you, but so
Yes.
good.
Yes, and it
Oh,
comes in this little plastic with a tinfoil top, and the thing, it looks like a barrel.
Love it.
Anyways.
oh, I do remember those. We didn't get those very often. We got the otter pops more than we got those. So
Okay. Yeah. We were kind
yeah,
of
in
bad
the
on
sand
fun.
dunes at the end, that's gonna be so clutch. Like, some
It's gonna be
cold
so
otter
good.
pops.
You
Yeah,
know,
I'm taking notes. Angela has otter pops. Okay.
I know. I'm also kicking around, and don't tell anybody this, but I'm kicking around bringing an inflatable, like little kid pool, and like at the end, filling it up with my air compressor, and like getting people to donate water and just like sitting in it.
That would be amazing.
Would that be so amazing?
That would be
Yes.
cute, yeah.
Even just to
Although
dip your feet in.
Just to put
y
your feet in it, right? And everybody's gonna have like a little extra water, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully.
I mean, in theory, we've all still got 5 gallons in the back of our vehicles that we
In
haven't touched.
theory, yeah.
That
you
adds
only
up
need, like,
quick.
5 teams and you're good.
Right? And then we can each like put our little feetsies in it. It's gonna be great.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm a professional snack moocher, so when
Ooh,
I'm hot and I see you around, I'm gonna be like,
girl, I
"I'll
got
take one
you.
of those pops."
I got you.
Although Liz will tell you, if I offer to trade, you're gonna be sadly disappointed.
Why? What do you got?
Usually, I have, like,
She's
bell
like, "Here's some
peppers.
celery. How about
Oh no, no, we're
how about
good.
some what was it? And
Celery,
bell peppers." She, like, hands
Yeah,
me celery and bell peppers.
celery is one of my go-to wheeling snacks. So
yeah.
it's honestly, it's a really good snack because it's easy to eat. It has
Mhm.
electrolytes and it's like, stress relieving because of the crunchies. I love
Yes,
it.
these Liz?
Yeah.
Oh, have you
So,
eaten celery with your helmet on yet?
no, I'm really like, that's the thing I'm really like not looking forward to is the helmet.
Okay, but the if we, because you know how you can kind of hear things when you're eating,
Yeah.
like,
Is it
inside
going
your
to
head?
echo?
Yeah, the helmet, like, amplifies that, and it's the best thing, like,
Is it
eating
a good
celery
thing?
in your helmet. Yeah, it's a good thing. I
Okay.
like it. I find it
Okay.
entertaining.
I haven't tried it
Everything,
yet, but
everything is
only a
like
matter of time, it'll
muted.
happen.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. Liz, we'll be in the car, and Liz will be like, "I'm hungry," and I'll, like, offer her my, and she's like, "No, I said I'm hungry. I don't want that."
Now, veggies are like one of my go-tos when I'm wheeling. I
Yeah.
love a celery stick and broccoli and celery
Mm.
is a big one. I don't even need to have anything to dip in it. I just eat it.
Yeah,
So
same.
I'll
Alright,
buy crappy snacks like sugary crappy snacks, and I won't even touch them.
oh,
Like
I'll still eat those too, but usually I just get those from other people.
love it. You know what you do have to stay away from though, and which is like what I would eat on the couch, and that is like chips,
Mm.
because oh man, then everything gets slimy and like salty and just not good.
Yeah, definitely chips are not a rally friendly snack.
No,
No.
these are hot
Mm-mm.
tips.
Hot tips. Yes, yes. Yeah, last year we, took the back seat out of the Bronco, and I was surprised. I looked up the weight, and it weighed 110 pounds.
The back seat in the Jeep weighs like 150 pounds. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
so heavy.
shocking. That's shocking.
Well, yeah, it's because my boyfriend and I both struggled taking it out of there, and he's like a big guy, so I was like,
Yeah,
okay, we're losing a lot of weight with this, which is nice. But
yeah. We took,
uh,
the back seats out of the Tacoma for this year, but they were, like, 60/40 and not very heavy.
those are little.
They were
Um,
surprisingly light.
Fun question. So, how many years have you guys both done this? Hasn't it been a couple?
This'll be my 3rd.
Okay.
And this is just my second, so last year was my rookie year.
What do you think? Like editing, when you come to packing stuff and editing, like what are you going to edit out? Like what do you not need? What did you take last year that or the year before that you were like, I don't need this?
I took, like, what I call adventure pants, like, not jeans, but I know almost never wear them because they're uncomfortable, but then I thought, "Oh, well, I'm gonna be doing such adventure-y stuff, I should take them," and I still didn't wear them because they were uncomfortable, so I think, like, if you put it on and it doesn't make you feel good, like, don't take it. Even if you think it's the most practical thing that you own, like, I wouldn't take it because 'cause you're
Okay.
still not gonna wear it.
That's a good point. Because I
Yeah.
have I have adventure pants, but I don't really like them. So
Mhm.
I'm curious. That might be a good little tactic to leave those out. But they're
Yeah.
really expensive. So.
Yeah, but if they're
But I don't
uncomfortable,
like them, so I don't
no.
know.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, pictures taken, so, like, as vain as it sounds or shallow as it sounds, like, I try to take things that at least make me look somewhat cute.
Well, you
Just
feel
saying.
confident in too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah,
did
I'm
pretty
not
good on
very.
the pants, like the number of pants. And I took too many like little tank top shirt things though. Like I wore all the long sleeves and the layering and stuff since it was so cold at the beginning. But then like going through, I had way too many like light stuff. And then we took too many shoes because what I brought like little rain boots. I brought like I ended up with like 4 pairs of shoes or something. We were like had them Nat and I each had extras that we had stashed places, and
Wow.
we only wore like 2 pairs, like my Vans, and then the little sandals around camp. That was it. So
Yeah.
that's for clothing wise. And then we took way too many snacks, like way too many. So just because they provide so much at the rally, so we had all these snacks and we had them all in our center console, and we ate a few of them, and then we had like a bin in the back of the truck that had more snacks in it, just because we're like, well, we're gonna go through these. We can't like, and Nat and I were both super snacky, and I didn't want her to get hungry. So hanger is a real thing
God
in,
forbid.
in our team. So
Yeah.
way too many snacks. And then at the rally, there's all these snacks, and it's like, well, these are different from our snacks. So then I'd go through and get more, and we'd have bags of them, and then they're in the center console. Like the snack thing was crazy. So
Okay, that's good to know. Hunger is going to be like for both Adriana and I. We both like we need food at specific points, and we're going to need. So that's where the fridge I think is going to come in handy for like healthy snacks.
yeah,
What kind of snacks do they provide? Are they like healthy or are they like goldfish or what are they?
They
it's
have
a
a good
bit of both.
mix. Yeah. So they
Okay.
usually, like, towards the first few days, most of the rally in the morning, like, they have little bags of, like, carrots and celery, which is why I eat so much celery, and then they have fruit and meat sticks and what else do they have?
They had little bags of chips, so we would grab little bags of
Mm,
chips. They had, I think they had bags of like the little not Halloween candy, but like single serve candies. Yeah, we ended up with a lot of cuties and apples. Um,
mhm.
Lots of bags of jerky. So they'd have jerky, long jerky sticks, bags of jerky. And then they usually had some kind of little breakfast, like coffee cake or pastry out. I think we ended up with extras of those
Yeah.
most days. There were and then a couple of days they had extra little breakfast burritos or like an extra sandwich or something. Not every day that I remember,
Yeah.
but
A lot of people just grab the, like, breakfast sandwiches and take them.
mm,
Because it's early. It's an early start, so not everybody can eat breakfast right away, so a lot of people will, like, take the sandwich with them. I know one team, they do what they call tensies, so they eat their breakfast around 10 o'clock. Tensies.
I can get behind that.
Mm.
I'm not a very good morning person.
yeah, same here. I'm like coffee right away, but it's so hard for me to eat until a couple hours later.
I know I have to like force myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually eat something just because, like, I hate to eat over my maps, so I feel like if I don't get some kind of nutrition in the morning, then I'm just gonna eat junk all day. Or, I mean, I do like, I try to eat a lot of the carrots and celery, that's honestly my favorite, but yeah. So, yeah, I've had a fridge every year. Liz and I are taking a fridge this year.
What are you
Li
driving this year?
The Tacoma.
Is that your Tacoma then, David?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. That's exciting.
Yeah. Liz and I are both avid, manual drivers, and
I
so it's a
love that.
manual, And when we were discussing it, last year she took a Tundra and she felt that that was a little on the big side, and ever since my first year, um, we were in the dunes and the Total Chaos Tacoma went flying by, and, it's supercharged, and
Yeah, it's
Nicole is
so
just
cool.
like a
Yeah.
mad driver, right? And so it goes, and I looked over past my driver in our little Jeep 392, which is no slouch, right? And I was like, I need that in my life. That right there, that's what I want in my life. And
Awesome.
so then this year when Liz and I were talking, and we have a lot of vehicles to choose from, and we hit on this mid-sized truck, and wouldn't it be fun to take a manual, because she also has a manual Tacoma. And my husband's was the 2019 that we're taking, and it's just a little bit more set up for the Rebel situation than Liz's Tacoma, and so we decided on that. But yeah, my
Yeah,
husband, he gave it.
mine's a single cab, so it would have been real tight. So we'd have the 6 foot bed, but the space inside would have been um,
Yeah.
a little
That
much
was
to work with, or a
that was
little
gonna be my
lacking.
second question was, is it the crew cab or the yeah, because the 6 foot bed actually might be a little hard to maneuver, to
On a crew
the
cab, yes. On the single cab, it's phenomenal. Just
Yeah,
because it's such a short wheelbase. It's actually the same wheelbase basically as the JKU. So I have sliders that we had a company basically put on it. And they measured the wheelbase and they're like, oh, we can just use our Jeep sliders, and they welded them right
sweet.
on. So,
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
yeah, it's a little small, and it's Avis's Tacoma is just set up definitely a little better than mine is for the rally.
That's so
yeah.
exciting.
When we did the pros and cons, the 2019 came out just edged out the little truck just a little bit, but,
Yeah. I think it'll be nice to have the back seat or like the inside space behind us and stuff, have the fridge in there, have all our stuff in there. That was kind of how I had my Tundra set up last year. It was so nice to have all that space back there behind us.
yeah. Liz is very attached to the fridge because, the Tundra or the Tacoma has power in the bed, and I was like, "Oh, we can put the fridge in the," and she's like, "No, if
How
I
do you
can't,"
get stuff out?
she's like, "If I can't touch the fridge, it's too far away." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Fair
Yeah.
enough."
I don't want to have to get out of the vehicle to get our snacks. Sometimes it's just that's not doable, or we won't eat them. That's what Nat and I discovered because we started with it behind her passenger seat, and like we'd have someone else that have to get outside, open the door, open the fridge to get in it, and like we just wouldn't eat. And then we would be like in training, and we're all frustrated with each other, and it's like, dude, we need to stop and eat. And we'd be like, okay, next checkpoint, next time, and we would completely forget. So once we moved it to the middle, and we could literally just turn around, open it, and either one of us could grab snacks, it was like, okay, game changer. This is what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds very important.
Yeah.
Reachable snacks.
Reachable snacks.
For
Can't get
me,
your protein shake out and drink it, and you have to get out of your vehicle. It just slows you down too much, or you won't do it.
Yeah.
I like to take the, Starbucks cans of just the black coffee,
Yeah,
the
I do
cold
those too.
coffee. Yeah, and then, I remember my first year in the dunes, it was hot, we paired up with a team, and the 3rd time we had to dig them out of the sand, I was just like, I mean, I don't know how my helmet doesn't smell bad. There was just sweat running down my head, because for some reason, I didn't take my helmet off. And, that was the best feeling, popping that can of coffee and I just drank the whole thing and, crushed it and threw it in the back, It was like
Oh, I wish there was video of that. I just picture you like smashing it on your forehead.
with my helmet. Oh,
Right?
I could've.
That's what that dent in the helmet is. Got
Yeah,
it now.
Right?
I
Yeah.
love it.
Makes you look
Um,
tough, makes you look tough. No, yeah, no, I appreciate the fridge, so I think that's a good call.
something that totally like baffles me. And so I'm doing this training out in the dunes in a couple weeks,
Mhm.
but it baffles me navigating in dunes. It baffles me. Like, do you have any like thoughts, tips, tricks? Like, how does this work?
So, my first year, I had never navigated in the dunes. We didn't do any dunes training. I live here in Southern Utah, and so did my first year teammate, and so we went to Sand Hollow and kind of drove around there, and I worked there with Tara Lynn a little bit, but, so I was like, how do you do it?" But it turns out it's my favorite place to navigate because as long as you, the driver, can tell me, the navigator, what our heading is, and I can track how far we've gone,
Okay.
like, I can just trace that on the map, drop a dot, this is where we are. We went this heading for this far, and as soon as we, like, change heading, then we need to know the heading, and so it's all heading and distance.
Okay. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out like how do you triangulate? How do you figure out like what pile of sand is what pile of sand? It really kind of just baffles me. But it's going to be really important then, I would think, to have a pretty accurate Terra trip or whatever rally computer you're using. And
Or no, or no, like, how much to add. So, my
okay.
first year, GPS Terra trips weren't a thing, you weren't allowed to use them. So, in
Mhm.
the sand, depending on how far you were going, you would have to add, like, 10 or 20% for the wheel spin.
Yeah, that's the other question I had. So, I mean, if you spin your wheels at all, you're going to be not accurate.
It depends on your Terra trip. Which one do
Okay.
you have?
I'm going to use the GPS one.
Okay. I
So,
found that one to be, more accurate in the sand. You
yeah.
sometimes lose accuracy, like, if you get into a canyon situation.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of what I heard, but it sounds, I've quizzed like 5 or 6 different people on this because I just didn't know anything about it. And it seems like the overarching feedback is that they all have some part to them that is going to be inaccurate to about like 0.2%. So it's just kind of like what's going to work for you.
Yeah.
And so I think that the GPS is probably going to be the best one for me because for Jeeps, you probably know this, the wheel sensors are super 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 like touchy. They're horrible. So the minute you mess with the wheel sensors, you're just screwed. So I'm going to try and stay away from those.
Yeah. My first year, we, wired it into the OCB2? OCBD2? What am I trying to say? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
The
The
yeah,
the
the
canvas thing.
I'm like now I'm like the OB the yeah, the sensor that's underneath your
Yeah,
dash driver.
OBD2.
Yes.
Maybe there's no C. Maybe that's not OCD.
I was like, you messed with my dyslexia so much right there that I was like, I'm just gonna repeat what you said.
I know, I know. Um, but yeah, that's was a little bit harder to install, but my first year teammate, is the business manager at Dixie 4-Wheel Drive, so her mechanics worked on that for quite some time.
Oh,
Once you understand it and you know how to do it, I don't think it's that bad, but coming into it blind, it can
yeah,
be a
it's
little
it's one
harder.
of the it's very like intimidating. Luckily, I made friends. Well, she doesn't know it yet, but she's my new best friend. And Kendra Miller,
Oh, yeah.
she's up here in Seattle. But yeah, I'm gonna like sneak into her life. She doesn't know it yet, but
Yeah.
we're gonna hang out. But
Yeah,
no, I
Liz.
ran into her in an event and I was like, "Tell me all things," and then she was like, "Yeah, well, come on over and we'll like mess with it and I'll teach you it." And I was like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome."
Yeah,
I think
don't
this is
don't
what
let
I
that resource go, that's a good one.
no, no way. I'm gonna like, she's my new friend. I'm so into her. She's so cool. I ran into her at an event at Dirtfish. She's an
Mhm.
instructor there. Oh,
Yeah.
she's rad.
We
So
just
yeah.
interviewed her, not that long ago and got all the scoop about the dirtfish.
Oh, she's so awesome. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the Dirtfish stuff. I think it's so much fun. I'm gonna dive into that. The problem is money, right? Like
Yeah.
I have like 3 vehicles at this point. I gotta figure this out.
Yes, the problem is money.
Right? Speaking of, like, how do you guys find fundraising? Because are you a private tier team?
Yes, we are.
Has that been an easy thing for you or how? Because I we've been having a hard time with it.
No, it's not easy.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. Good. Because if you found it easy and I found it not easy, I'd be like, tell me everything. But it seems like companies right now are having a really hard time on the bottom line and they don't have a lot of money to like invest in other people.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. I mean, we've been very blessed as a team this year, but it definitely hasn't come easy. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me I wish like I think I'm gonna try next year to focus a little bit more on it at the beginning. Like we definitely focused on it at the beginning, but now we're coming into the wire and it definitely is a stressor and it's taking away from time that we could actually be training, which is kind of a little bit frustrating. And I also wonder how other like people that are actually rookie teams, like both teammates rookies,
Mhm.
I would think that's it's just really intimidating and really hard. So, like, how to do that? I don't know how I would do that without Adriana and how she already was versed in it a little bit.
Yeah. The rally, like, they do in the, Rebel U, they have the media I forget what it's called, but, Charlene Bauer? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I think
Sh
so.
she did one, and I watched that my first year, and my second year, and then this year, I didn't watch it yet, but I have it, queued up to watch the Megan with Pirelli. Like, they just
Mhm.
launched a thing where she talks about, fundraising and, like, gives tips and pointers on how to do that, so
Cool. Maybe
I'm gonna watch that one.
I'll do that too.
Yeah,
Um,
but a lot of times it's who you know,
yeah.
I
Luckily,
think.
I have a lot of connections in this world, and so that's good. But also, it's just the cost is huge. So,
Yeah, and it's
especially
so
if you're
much
going to
more
be
than
there.
just the like rally entry fees.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any like gear that you didn't take that you wish you had when you were out there? Or like I asked that question to Adriana and she said that she really wished that she had taken like a comfy pair of shoes. Like,
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, I'm gonna remember to take my Crocs.
right, have your camp shoes. That's what I had like the rubber Birkenstocks, and so that was my like we'd get back to camp and I'd like put those on at the end of the day or like wear them in the morning and then have my Vans for the rest of the day. So it definitely is nice having that like comfy set of shoes to swap into. We did that when we like camp and stuff anyway. Have your like camp slippers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too freaky to wear, like, sandals at camp, really, because, I'm still basically an East Coaster. I lived in Virginia for quite some time before moving out here, and so, like, the whole, like, desert night creatures and scorpions and things like that, like, I like to have my feet covered, so
Today, literally today, I just watched the episode where you guys roll into the ghost town and there's a freaking tarantula like migration. Did you see tarantulas?
I did see one,
Oh,
yes. It was my
I did.
first one in the wild, and actually because, my driver, Kristen, she knew I'd never seen one in the wild, so, like, in the middle of the rally, she stopped, and she was like, "Avis, there's a tarantula, get out and go look at it." Like, we actually
oh,
took a minute so that I could observe a tarantula in the wild.
so gross.
They don't scare me. It's the scorpions that really get to me, or the snakes that are buried in the sand that you're not gonna see.
I don't know. I'm not into spiders.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
I don't care about snakes necessarily, but I mean I don't want to hang out with one, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if it stays in its lane and I'm in my lane, I'm fine with that, but
I mean, but at that point we're in their lane, right? This is
yeah, this is true.
But I would say if you're bringing your Crocs, then like the whole front of your foot is like protected. So,
yeah.
you're good. I mean, it's not like the Birkenstocks where I'm just hanging them out there.
I'm
Yikes.
going with slip-on Vans. I'm not even like no Crocs. I'm going slip-on Vans. Those are my comfy shoes. Maybe they're my driving shoes. I don't know.
Everybody seems to wear Vans. I'm planning to take mine. So, And that's kind of my driving shoe anyway, so I think it'll be okay. I'm kind of worried about the cold a little. Is it typically that cold, or was last year just a like fluke?
There is no typical.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard, I mean, we've heard stories where it's been colder other times. Like,
Wow.
so
Yeah. Kendra was telling us some of the early years it was even colder than it was last year, which last
right.
year was my coldest year by far. And then she said there was one year she never wore pants. It was hot the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
time.
Yeah. She was talking about that where she just literally wore shorts the whole time. And then she was talking about that other self camp that they did on a different year where wherever they got to, they camped and she was sure it was like negative numbers was how cold it
Yeah.
was. I'm like, I'm not prepared for that. I wasn't even prepared for 14 last year.
I know. I know. I've was really like back and forth on whether or not I wanted to get a silk bag, but I think I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, I'm not going to, although they seem really great, but I did a shakedown of my gear last week and I have like a below zero sleeping bag and I was out in the middle of nowhere and it was fine, but it definitely made me think about like all of the layers I'm gonna have to wear and bring because I was fine, but it was also like 40 degrees and not 14.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy because we have to pack for extreme cold all the way to extreme hot. Like,
Yeah. You have to have everything because you can't research where you're gonna be, what do you think the temperature is gonna be, and, like, it's so weird, you get up in the morning and you can't really check the weather. So it's like, I mean, it's cold out now. I guess I'll put on my
I
stuff that
think
keeps me warm. Yeah. So that part is kind of weird too.
it's a fun part of the challenge, and I'm kind of an outdoors person anyways, so it's not completely outside of my realm of what I'm comfortable with. But also, I'm a person that I love to be prepared for everything. But I also have a two-door Jeep and two people, and so we're gonna have to edit what we bring and be really smart.
Yeah. And last year, it wasn't so much so my first year, but last year where you had to unload the vehicle and where you had to take your stuff to, I think at least twice, it felt like a quarter of a mile.
Dang.
So, like and you have to carry that stuff back and forth. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're the driver, you probably do it in the morning, and if you're the navigator, you probably do it at night, but you got that one direction, and it was a lot. I was wishing I had a step counter because I was like,
Oh,
"I am racking up some miles right now."
I heard somebody asking, like, should they bring a cart? And I was like, huh, I never even thought about bringing a cart.
you know, some
Like,
people bring carts to toss all their stuff in.
huh, that's something to think about. So,
Yeah. I don't mind the back and forth, the walking, like, the getting a little bit of activity after sitting in the car all day. I don't know. What do you think in the morning? Because you have the morning being the driver, Liz.
Um, I don't think a cart would have helped me. I feel like I would have struggled more dragging the cart than just hoofing it back and forth a couple of times. It was definitely like
Yeah.
in the morning because I don't think I'd eaten. There was a lot of times where it was like I was trying to basically just get everything packed quick and then go into the tent so that I knew everything was already in the truck. So there was definitely a few times where I was like, I probably should have eaten something. Like, I might be a little lightheaded right now. Like, how many more trips do I need to make? Why is it
yeah.
so dang far?
Yeah, it
But
was far. In base camp 1, you there was that, like, trench. So I
yeah, I
think,
was gonna
like
say that's where a cart wouldn't have helped you at all at base camp one because I mean, and I think I there were several times that I leaped over the trench. There was at least one time where I didn't make it, and I think I ate shit halfway through.
yeah, it was wide in some spots.
And grassy, so you couldn't quite see one edge, but you could see the other.
This is
So
risky.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
especially in the dark, first thing in the morning.
and you're freezing to death because that was the super cold base camp.
It's going to be a really big challenge. And this is one of the things that I love about this competition is that it's not watered down, you know? Like every time I tell someone about like the stuff we have to do and the day to day, they are gobsmacked. Like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's something that's really cool because it makes it adds like a level of like respect that they have because they're like, wow, you're gonna do that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that.
It's
So
happening.
all the respect to you ladies for having done it before,
So
leading the way.
have you ever done any other kind of competitions before?
No, not like in the off-road world, but there's really not anything else the that I know of besides like buggy rock crawling and like rally cars. There's really not a whole lot of stuff in the in between. So I have my eye on a couple other things that I want to do. I definitely am super interested in the Alcan 5000.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's on my bucket list. I would really like to do it. A friend of mine, he does chase for it, and he was talking to me about it when we first met. And he was like, "Yeah, but you'll never do that." And I was like, "Watch me."
Right. What do you mean never?
I'm gonna do it now, just because he said I wasn't gonna. So now I'm gonna do it. And then I'm also really interested. I think you did an interview with the people from the Artemis rally. I'm interested in
Oh
that.
yeah. John and Jess.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested in that as well.
Yeah, that one looks like a lot of fun.
It looks super fun. It's kind of far away for me, so I might have to find a teammate that lives over there. So,
Yeah.
but I'm interested in that, and I want to support these events